Jon Jones told Dana White 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds weren't going to stop him. Conor McGregor just called one of the best fighters on the planet "little bro," and the internet exploded. And Raja Jackson, the man who disappeared after one of the most shocking moments in streaming history, is making his way back. This is the MMA world in March 2026, and it is absolutely on fire. 3 stories, 3 major moments, and every single one of them is connected to the biggest fight card in UFC history. Chapter 1: The 1,000,000,000 to 1 comeback. To understand what Jon Jones just did, you have to understand where he was just a few months ago. Jones is widely considered the greatest MMA fighter of all time. His record stands at 28 wins and just 1 loss, and that 1 loss was a disqualification, not a real defeat. He has held the light heavyweight title and the heavyweight title. He has beaten every single person the UFC put in front of him, and yet, heading into 2026, people were writing him off completely. Here is why. After years of delays, drama, and failed negotiations with the UFC over a fight with interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, Jones decided to retire from MMA in June 2025. Fans were frustrated, Dana White was frustrated, and it seemed like Bones was done for good. But then something happened that nobody saw coming. President Donald Trump announced that a UFC event would take place on the White House lawn, leading Jones to immediately unretire and campaign for a spot at the event. For Jones, this wasn't just about a fight, it was about legacy. It was about being part of the most historic card in UFC history. A man who had spent his career chasing greatness suddenly had the greatest stage ever offered to any fighter, and he wanted in badly. Dana White, however, had other plans. White has a long history with Jones, and it hasn't all been smooth. Jones has been stripped of UFC championships on 3 separate occasions, a promotion record. He has canceled fights, missed appearances, and caused headaches for the organization more times than most people can count. So when Jones started pushing for a spot on the White House card, White was not exactly rushing to pick up the phone. In fact, back in December, White famously put Jones's chances of fighting at the White House event at 1,000,000,000 to 1. That was not a subtle message, that was a public shutdown. White was telling the world, and Jones specifically, that this door was closed. Most fighters would have taken the hint and moved on. Jones did not. Chapter 2: The New Hampshire Moment. Fast forward to Saturday, March 1st, 2026. Jon Jones walks into the Brook, a casino in New Hampshire. He is there for a meet and greet with fans. Nothing major, just a man shaking hands, taking photos, doing his thing. But then someone in the crowd asks about the White House card. What happened next broke the internet. Jones said with a smile on his face, "I'm in negotiations with the UFC about this White House fight as well. I'm a very proud American, and I cannot wait to represent one more time." The crowd erupted. Phones went up. Clips started flying across social media within minutes. This was not just a casual comment. This was a direct signal to Dana White, to the UFC, and to the entire MMA world. Jones was not giving up. He was not going away quietly. He was in the room, and he was demanding a seat at the table. Just a few weeks before that moment, Jones had been hinting at retirement again after dealing with what appeared to be a serious arthritic hip condition. He told interviewer Helen Yee, "I think I could be done. I don't want to be one of these fighters that wins some and lose some and can't remember what your name is." So the swing from retirement talk to "I'm in negotiations" was massive, and it happened fast. But here is where the story gets even bigger. The night before Jones made his New Hampshire statement, UFC CEO Dana White announced that Alex Pereira was vacating his UFC light heavyweight title, indicating a long-awaited move to the heavyweight division. And almost immediately, veteran MMA journalist Ariel Helwani dropped a bombshell. Helwani said, "There have been talks of him fighting Jon Jones on the White House card." He added, "I don't feel as of right now a ton of positive momentum in that direction, but I'm not here to tell you that it's dead. There have been talks of this." Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira, heavyweight, on the White House lawn, in front of the entire world. 2 of the most feared strikers in the history of combat sports are colliding at one of the most unique events ever organized. If that fight happens, it would instantly become one of the most anticipated bouts in UFC history. The UFC White House card is scheduled for June 14, 2026, and the promotion is reportedly spending around $60 million on the event. The stakes could not be higher. And right now, Jon Jones is right in the middle of the conversation, whether Dana White originally planned for him to be or not. Now let's talk about something completely different, but just as dramatic. If you follow MMA content, streamers, or just general internet chaos, you already know the name Raja Jackson. For those who don't, here's the quick version. Raja Jackson is the 25-year-old son of UFC legend Quinton Rampage Jackson, one of the most beloved fighters in MMA history. Raja had been building a streaming career of his own, and had picked up a decent following. But in August 2025, everything fell apart in the worst possible way. Raja Jackson was charged with felony battery following his attack on wrestler Psycho Stu. During a live stream at a wrestling event, Raja stormed the ring and attacked Psycho Stu with over 20 strikes. The wrestler was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries, including broken teeth. He currently faces 1 felony count of battery causing great bodily injury and 1 count of misdemeanor battery, and if convicted on the worst charges, he could face up to 7 years in prison. The fallout was immediate and total. Kick banned him after the violent viral incident with Stu. The UFC reportedly closed its doors on any future appearances from him. His streaming career was gone overnight. For months, Raja went completely silent. No posts, no streams, no public statements, just silence while the legal situation played out. But then his father stepped in. Rampage Jackson shared the update during a recent live stream conversation with streamer Neon, revealing that his son has expressed interest in getting back in front of the camera. "I want to get my son, Raja, back on there," Jackson said. When Neon asked if Raja planned to resume streaming, Jackson confirmed he wants to. Neon immediately offered to collaborate and host his comeback, asking, "Can I be the first stream, us 3? Jackson agreed, but noted there would be limitations on where the stream could take place. "We can't do it on Kick," Jackson said, before suggesting Neon's platform as an alternative. And then, just days later, the news took another turn. Reports emerged suggesting that Raja had been unbanned from Kick, throwing a whole new twist into the situation. Whether that means a Kick return is possible or whether the legal drama still makes it complicated, nobody fully knows yet. Raja has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and a court hearing was scheduled for March 2026, so the legal situation is still very much ongoing. The question of whether he deserves a second chance in streaming has split people right down the middle, with some saying he needs to face consequences, and others saying he should be allowed to rebuild his life. What is clear is that the story is far from over.
Chapter 4. Thanks, Lil Bro. And now for the moment that had MMA Twitter completely losing its mind. Conor McGregor has not fought since UFC 264 in July 2021, when Dustin Poirier finished him after he broke his leg in the first round. That is nearly 4 years of absence from the sport, filled with constant comeback rumors, media noise, and near announcements that never quite materialized into a scheduled fight. But McGregor has been louder than ever about wanting back in. McGregor has consistently posted intense training clips and has been extremely vocal about wanting his fight contract. At one stage, he posted Day 15 of "I accept, send the contract" on social media, expressing frustration that the UFC had not officially locked him in. His suspension, handed down in October 2025, was not for a failed drug test. It stemmed from 3 missed whereabouts filings, and the ban was backdated to the 3rd infraction, making him eligible to compete again on March 20, 2026. Everyone was watching to see where McGregor would land, and the White House card seemed like the obvious dream scenario. The UFC is reportedly spending around $60 million on the one-off White House show, and according to TKO executives, there won't be ticket sales, sponsors, or the usual revenue streams attached. It's being framed as a long-term investment, not a profit play. That is where the math got complicated for McGregor. MMA journalist Ariel Helwani reported, "It doesn't look like it's going to be Conor on the White House card. They have an International Fight Week card scheduled for July 11th. There's a greater chance of him fighting on that card than on the White House card, because there's no money to be made from the White House event." Now enter Alexander Volkanovski, the reigning UFC featherweight champion. Volk is widely respected in the MMA world, both as a fighter and as someone who speaks his mind with clarity and class. And he went on his YouTube channel and said something that Conor fans absolutely loved. Volkanovski stated, "You can't have Conor McGregor not headline it. It wouldn't make sense. I think a few of the standard things go out the window for this type of event, so I think they would bend the rules." That was a genuine show of respect and support from one of the sport's top champions to one of its biggest stars. McGregor saw the clip, and what did he post on X in response? 3 words: "Thanks, lil bro." That was it. That was the entire response to Volkanovski going out of his way to publicly support him. The internet did not take it well. Fans flooded McGregor's comment section almost instantly. "He'd cook you and show you who Lil Bro is," one fan wrote. "Why you disrespecting the legend Volk for giving you props? He'd handle you with ease in the cage," another said. "Bro, Volk would beat your ass. Who do you think you are? You absolute nobody," someone else added. The debate was real. On one side, McGregor fans said it was just his personality, his swagger, and that he means no harm by it. On the other side, a lot of people felt it was deeply disrespectful to a champion who was trying to do him a favor. What makes it even more interesting is the context. Last September, Volkanovski had actually named McGregor as his dream opponent and said that fans don't give McGregor enough credit during his prime. This was not some random fighter taking a shot. This was someone who genuinely respected McGregor and was putting his own name behind the idea publicly. And McGregor called him Lil Bro. Whether it was playful or dismissive, one thing is undeniable. Conor McGregor never stops creating moments. Even sitting on the sidelines, not fighting, not officially booked for anything, he is still the center of conversation every single week. He holds the record for the UFC's highest-selling PPVs, with 8 out of the top 10 to his name. That kind of pull does not disappear just because someone takes a few years off. Chapter 5: The biggest card in history. So where does all of this leave us? The UFC White House card on June 14, 2026 is shaping up to be unlike anything combat sports has ever seen. Fighters are reportedly set to walk out directly from the Oval Office before competing in an octagon placed on the south lawn of the White House. It is a $60 million production. It is part of the America 250 celebrations, and the entire world is going to be watching. Right now, Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira is the most talked about potential main event for the card, with both men having had conversations with UFC officials about the fight. Jones is confirmed to be in negotiations. Pereira has vacated his light heavyweight title and is clearly moving up. The pieces are there. Conor McGregor's situation is messier. The finances of the event make his inclusion complicated, and a new date has emerged for the Irishman's return, with International Fight Week on July 11th in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena being the more likely option, according to insiders. And Raja Jackson? He has a court date coming, a platform ban that may have just been reversed, and a father who is out here fighting for his son's second chance in the public eye. Whether he earns that second chance is a conversation the MMA community is not done having. 3 completely different stories, 3 completely different outcomes still to be decided. But that is what makes this moment in MMA so special. The sport is bigger than just the fights, it's the drama between them. The negotiations, the call-outs, the retirements, the comebacks, the one-liners that break the internet at midnight. Jon Jones staring down 1,000,000,000 odds and smiling. Conor McGregor typing, "Thanks, lil bro," and walking away. Raja Jackson slowly stepping back toward a camera after months of silence. If you made it this far, you already know what kind of channel this is. So if you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Also, smash the like button if you enjoyed this one.